Hello, hello. Big shout out to Tanya and Grace again for getting me involved in the We Writing Letters to the FDA campaign. Earlier this week, I talked to someone from the FDA, and I just wanted to share my conversation with you all. And just want to let you know that I also have my notes on the side because I didn't want to forget anything from that conversation. But before I get started, I would like to say the person I talked to was very nice, asked me a bunch of questions, took notes, and it felt like they really took the time to listen to me and understand. What does that translate to? Who knows? But I wanted to share 4 things that came out of the conversation that I think are important to everyone, not just those of us who are suffering from fluoroquinolone toxicity syndrome. So I've really broken this down into 4 parts, and I will go through each part with my question and their answer. Part 1. Enforcement. Question. Doctors are not following the guidelines of prescribing fluoroquinolone antibiotics as a last resort, either through lack of knowledge, ignorance, or total disregard for the regulation. I was prescribed ciprofloxacin with other options available. Are doctors allowed to do whatever they want and ignore FDA regulations without any repercussions? The FDA, who is responsible for overseeing these drugs, is not doing anything. Why aren't you enforcing that doctors follow your guidelines? Answer. The FDA does not have the authority for enforcement. That resides at the state level. All we can do is set regulations and communicate the warnings. Part 2. Communication. Question. People aren't reading the warnings. As patients, many of us just take what our doctors prescribe, assuming that they are safe because our doctors prescribe them. What can be done to make sure people are aware of the black box warning? Answer. If enough people complain and get this better recognized, the FDA can improve their methods for communicating. They can also add criteria before prescribing a fluoroquinolone. For example, a prescriber would have to sign something or take a course before being allowed to prescribe a fluoroquinolone, something to that effect. Part 3. Guidance for adverse events. Question. Why is there no guidance for doctors once we have an adverse reaction and get sick? They have no idea what to do with us. All the FDA says is just switch to another antibiotic. Answer. Because, Talia, when people get as sick as you, we don't know what to do. I'm sorry, Talia, but there's nothing that we can do to help you at this point. All you can do is help other people in the future. My commentary on that? Well, duh. That's the point. Section 4. MedWatch. Question. Kind of a discussion too. There was a discussion about how large of an issue this is. Why is there such a huge disconnect between fluoroquinolone toxicity and the doctors and the rest of the world? If you say you have cancer, everyone understands. If you say you have fibromyalgia, everyone understands. If you say you have fluoroquinolone toxicity syndrome or that you've been floxed, you get, huh? Even from doctors. It's like no one has ever heard of this before. Answer. FDA says get as many people as possible to file reports on MedWatch and reach out to their state health departments. Now my commentary. I do agree that this illness is way underreported, and that's because we are so sick and in some cases on death's door, traumatized, or many people don't even realize the illness was from a fluoroquinolone because it doesn't happen right away. This is how we ended. By me saying that ciprofloxacin ruined my life and almost killed me. And that's no exaggeration because I was on hospice for 9 months. I would have been shouting from the rooftop earlier, except I was half dead. But now I will follow this through until I take my last breath for real, whether that's 5 years from now or 50 years from now. I will never give up in my efforts to make sure other people don't end up like me. In conclusion, for everyone out there who is or who has suffered from fluoroquinolone toxicity syndrome, I am begging you, if you have the energy or are in the right headspace, to please report your adverse reactions to the FDA via MedWatch and reach out to your state reps if you can. I'll put the link in this video. We have to get the word out. We have to scream from the rooftops if we want change. I don't know what will come of it, but I'm sure if we don't do anything, there won't be any change. We have to make sure no one else goes through what we've gone through, because this is the worst roller coaster ride ever that we cannot get off of.